You don't always get that second round, but when you do, you can't mess up the second time. You just got to fix it and, take care of the job.
When you see a team that's not ranked playing against a team that's ranked, you automatically assume what the outcome could be. So from our perspective, it didn't matter. It didn't really change the outlook it was. They were still Cortland. They could have been Cortland Team 17. It didn't matter.
We worked hard at what we did. And I think humble in the pursuit was key, and never being complacent.
Definitely intense, but in a positive manner. Like, I trusted my teammates, I trusted my leaders, I trusted everyone who was on and off the field to carry us to that win.
Giving absolutely everything that they got, because we knew that we didn't have it in the bag, but we wanted it so bad, and I think that that's really what drove us.
That championship would not have been won, that game would not have been won without us on the sideline. We were there that entire time. We were never at a low point, ever. I don't even think I had a voice by the end of that game. And we loved being there. We loved supporting. We knew what we needed to do.
Screaming their heads off, and this power just came out, and I was able to fuel off their energy to give me another 10 more seconds of life, because that's what it came down to, honestly. But then we have people that supported us more than we supported ourselves. So I guess they really put everything they had out there for the people on the field. So, and to me, that's the most selfless thing you can do, and that was very important. And that changed momentum for a majority of our season with that sideline.
We had a really good positive halftime where it was clean slate. It was 2-2, no big deal, we got this. And then I just think we played intense the entire second half. It just got to the point where we ignored the time, because clearly, we scored and tied it up in less than 10 minutes, and the last goal went in with about 3 minutes left.
I had a feeling that it was going to go into overtime, and it's kind of what I wanted, and I think a lot of us wanted, because we're really good at overtime. At that point, it was just keep them in front of us, don't let them in our circle, don't let them come past our front line. It was how can we all together keep them from entering the danger zone.
We are really good at, so it was, you knew that was going to be kind of just a matter of time of when is it going to stop, and when are we going to be holding that trophy.
I've been in that spot of missing a 1v1, and you don't always get a second chance. So I knew I couldn't let it break me. I just had to remember how she came out, and I wasn't going to totally change my move. I was going to stick with my move, but I had to adjust a little bit. And people are depending on me to make this. I've practiced it 100 times over. Still messed up a little bit, and somehow by the grace of God didn't step on that ball. I don't know how. And I've watched this video over and over again, and I pause it, and I took that shot, and there was about 0.8 seconds left on the clock. So I think it went over the line at 0.2. That whole game was incredible. You watched Tony make a million saves, and our defense was incredible. I just think every line put in their piece, and that was just the role I had to play in that game.
It was just such a confusing moment that felt, even watching it, it seemed long, but being there, it felt like it was another hour that we were waiting to hear.
I think once we stopped cheering, it kind of sunk in. I was able to look at the field and be we just played for 120 minutes, and we busted everything that we had, and I don't know, it was just a surreal moment.
And so when we won this game, I think it really showed that we're building a dynasty here. This is our time, and Cortland had their run, but guess what? New Paltz isn't the underdog anymore. We're going to go on to be nationally ranked. At the time, we didn't know that, but we went on, and then we won 4 SUNYAC championships. That's pretty incredible for a group.
And they inspired, those around them to really do everything in their power to be the best they can be. And they taught the underclassmen how to be champions. And I think a lot of times when you have great leaders, you're going to have success within your program.
From day one, we dragged each other to whatever had to be done outside of mandatory workouts. We did what we had to do on the off season, and we put that pressure on each other. And, the accountability, I think, is what really brought us through as a group.
Knowing in the back of our mind that we had to work for it, that continued on to the next season, that it was always going to be something you had to work for.
These are people that absolutely have passion. You can see it in a picture. They loved what they did, and they celebrated even the littlest victories. And I think that's, you know, a very valuable lesson.
We came to New Paltz, they weren't winning at the time. So I just like to point that out to people too, that this group of people came to just play field hockey. It's that simple. We came because it was a beautiful place. Coach somehow persuaded us to get there. We love the team atmosphere, and we came to play some field hockey. And then we come out winning 4 championships.
In the face every
No one's
day.
done it yet. No one's done it
It's
since.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
no one has done it since.
This is going to be the one that I'm going to remember my whole life, honestly.